everyone, welcome to my Vodcast. I am Alexis Edrosalam and today we will talk about Bruno. Just kidding, we won't talk about Bruno. We are actually going to talk about the 13th Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. But first, let us define what is Sustainable Development Goals.
The United Nations adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, or also known as the Global Goals, as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the environment, and ensure that by 2030, everyone lives in prosperity and peace. The 17 SDGs are interconnected, recognizing that actions in one area have an impact on outcomes in others, and that development must strike a balance between social, economic, and environmental sustainability. So, the SDG is actually a brilliant idea, right? I mean, coming up with a plan that is not just focused with one area, or it does not just aim to develop one area, but almost all the social, environmental, and economic issues we are facing can be solved interconnectedly, but of course, if implemented correctly. The real question here is, do we think our country, the Philippines, is catching up with these goals? What are the steps we are taking? What are the plans we are making? That's the real question. So that will be the purpose of this video. We will be delving into the projects and policies of our country regarding the 13th SDG by the United Nations, or the climate action, in a Filipino approach. According to a report issued in 2019 by the Institute of Economics and Peace, the Philippines is the country most vulnerable to climate change. Between 1958 and 2014, the Philippines experienced a 0.62 degrees Celsius increase in yearly average mean temperature, with the rate of change increasing over time. So imagine how wild it is going to be here, and how much hotter will it be in the next years to come. That is a bit scary and hot. To be honest, I am already feeling it. I mean, can't we see how the temperature has risen in recent years, even with our electric fans turned on? And I do not know if it's just me, but I noticed that before, we just had to turn the AC on when we are about to go to bed. But now it seems that it is only turned off when we are leaving the house. Well, that's just my observation. But I do really have a reason as to why I chose this topic over the others, or the other goals. It is because of the recent environmental protest of 1,000 scientists in 25 countries, including some NASA scientists, demanding climate action and calling on world leaders to stop burning fossil fuels. It went viral and the social media went wild for a while. I mean, it somehow made me happy to see that the technology really has something to do with disseminating information, especially the meaningful ones. And seeing my peers caring about this issue makes me proud. I mean, my Facebook newsfeed, Instagram, and Twitter are blown up with hashtags and infographics about how to take care of our planet and things like that. And I hope that it will not just be a 1 week or 1 day trend. And I do also pray that they, or we, will take real action instead of just posting. So, yes, that is why I wanted to talk about it. I felt like as a human being, I had an inherent responsibility to take care of our Mother Earth, because we cannot afford to lose it. That is why I came up with my title, We Only Have One Earth, Let's Take Climate Action, or It's Time for Climate Action. And talking about it and being able to share helpful information, I think will help spread awareness and inspire others to contribute and help protect our planet. So let us start with the definition of terms. What is Sustainable Development Goal 13? It says that, quote, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. First things first, what is climate change? According to the United Nations, climate change refers to a long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which produce heat trapping gases. We all know about that. Um, we all heard about that thing in our science classes before when we are in our elementary years and high school. So I will not be discussing it or diving more into it. So let's proceed to some of the impacts of climate change. We have heat waves or a phase of extremely high surface temperatures in comparison to those expected. Second, we have flooding. Everyone knows about flooding, especially here in the Philippines. Next is we have the rising of sea level, and we have also the drought. Education, awareness raising, and institutional capacity on climate change mitigation, adaptation, impact reduction, and early warnings. So, having said that, how it is being addressed in the Philippines? What policies and projects have been implemented or are being implemented to address this aspect of sustainability in the country? So, upon my research, I have found five policies and projects by the government relating to this climate action. First is we have Republic Act 9729 or the Climate Change Act of 2009. It aims to integrate disaster risk reduction measures into climate change adaptation plans, development, and poverty reduction programs. Next is we have the National Framework Strategy on Climate Change or the NSFCC. It is committed towards ensuring and strengthening the adaptation of our natural ecosystems and human communities to climate change. Next is the National Climate Change Action Plan, which prioritizes food security, water sufficiency, ecological and environmental stability, human security, climate smart industries and services, sustainable energy, and knowledge and capacity development as the strategic direction for 2011 to 2028. Next is we have the Philippine Green Jobs Act of 2006 or the Republic Act 10771. It promotes sustainable growth, creates decent jobs, and builds a resilience against climate change through incentives to businesses generating green jobs. We also have the Philippine Development Plan or PDP of 2017 to 2022. But aside from these, we also have different projects by non-government organizations that aims to protect our planet and environment and also aims to reduce the impacts of climate change where we can volunteer and support like the Greenpeace Philippines, Mother Earth Foundation, Green Earth Heritage Foundation Incorporated, Save Philippine Seas, Earth Island Institute, and many more. So to have a list of these organizations and others and more, I will be inserting the link here. Okay, having enumerated these policies and projects by different organizations and of course by the government, I think the best way we can contribute is by actively participating in the programs and of course by following the policies being implemented. I mean, the policies and programs themselves have a great vision towards climate action. But our government, I think, is just having a minor problem with its implementation and the implementators. Take for example the Sangguniang Kabataan, which could possibly have helped a lot when the budget that was given to them, or most of it, was used for eco-friendly programs and activities such as tree planting, seminars, and all. Encouraging the youth to lead the society towards this environmental revolution that we need. Climate action has to be hand in hand with the government and its people to make it possible and effective. I guess being an informed and educated human being is the best foundation that we can have and we can start with. We already have the voice, we just need to amplify it. We already have the knowledge, we just need to execute it. Keep on posting information on social media if that's the least thing we can do. Start planting trees. Stop using plastics. Start advocating. Start sharing information. Refuse to do actions that we know may harm our Mother Earth. Start being loud with a voice that aims for the better. We already have it. We just have to double our efforts to make it possible. I know we can. Thank you so much for listening. This is Alexis Edrosalam. Until our next episode. Bye.